Well, today is the moment of truth. The floor held up great, and now that the ground is wet, I don't worry so much about sparks flying when I start getting into the metal work, things catching on fire and stuff. Today, then, logically means I get to start cutting out the metal, baby. So right now, the plans call for 15 feet from the front part of container 1 all the way down to be a living room. So, all right, just the way it looks right now, if I can cut out the 15 feet, then here in this corner, I'll be able to put up that wall right there. So I cut this part out. I can set the plate down and come up from it with another 2x, and then fit some the remaining studs to go vertical, which would then tie in and solve that deflection I'll get from the top once I go cutting, because it'll sag a bit, but if I can get it done ahead of time, I'm good. That way also I can re-level this, make sure it's secure before I go putting the weight on top for the roof. Yeah, I think if I finish this cleaning up a little bit here, and then let's get cut.
Let me tell you how it was down on the block that I used to hang. They would tax your feet soon as to cross the street at the spots that I used to gang bang. I came up on an
All right, so it took me about an hour, but the first little section is cut. I went through 3 blades or so, but I would rather go through, even if they're a little bit cheaper, I'd rather go through fresh blades and things, and it's just faster instead of trying to ride or die with one expensive blade. All right, so what did I notice here? It does buckle when you cut through naturally. Tension does have to find a weak point, and as soon as you cut into it, it does a quick buckle on you. When I cut out that hole, it was like an experiment to figure out which method was going to work the best. Knowing that I had to, basically do everything by myself. And I'm not trying to be a sissy about it, but like even a 4 foot, and this isn't even a full 4 feet, this is only 45 inches or whatever, by 8.5. I mean, it's still damn heavy. Like, you can't really just pick it up and carry it like a piece of drywall or something. So, I have to keep things small regardless, and increments that I can manage myself. I knew that those D-rings up there were going to get in the way, but I actually sliced through kind of quick. Like this one here, I cut past and around. I didn't even get into it. So I think for the next panel or section, I'm going to cut in pieces where definitely going to get into the corners first, and I'll probably end up cutting a little bit higher off the ground and down from the edge, because whereas I thought it'd be faster and more efficient to cut as close to the edge as possible, because I'm going to end up grinding down anyways. But what I realize is you can't get the blade in there unless it's a brand new blade every single time. You can't get into the corners where the vertical cut and the horizontal cut meet, just because of the way the corrugation is set, and it never works out with the lifespan of each blade. So it's always by the time you get to that intersection, there's not enough blade left, and you end up with like the nose of the grinder getting right where you need it to be. So what I'll probably do is, instead of staying like a 1/4 inch from the ground, I'll probably come up to here a couple of inches to go over the top of the D-ring. I'll come down a few inches from there. I won't have to worry about trying to fit the grinder in there in a certain way, and I was donkey kicking this shit down like I was Chicago PD. getting my void on, or my Atwater on. Go, BD! Boom! Anyway. Alright, well, I think I'm at a good stopping point for today. This is where technically I think I'm standing at the master closet, so right about here is where the back of the living room will be. As soon as I cut out that part, you'll see the rest of the kitchen. Not directly across here, but you see where it says kitchen. So let's just say for video's sake, if you were to follow that level, that's kind of the sight line. So you'll have the stairs will come right up in that hallway, and then you'll be able to see up to the balcony. I'm still, I was going to cut the roof open, but it's a lot brighter than I thought it was going to be, even though the roof's not up yet, but this is super dope. So what did I notice? So that plan to cut 4 inches or so up from the top and bottom worked wonderfully. The grinding down, the rumors are true that it's going to take a hot ass minute to cut all of it down, but that's why God made Bondo. So I'm gonna, there's a little bit of a bevel, or not a bevel, but a slope, I guess. Again, everything's imperfect here, so you have to kind of take into account the flexibility required. Even when finishing the floor out, I tried to make the subfloor level. But there's going to be, but even this lower rail is not level with the floor inside of the container. So at the end of the day, you just need to try to mitigate the discrepancies in height and in material. So that's why there's epoxy and subfloor and soundproofing and underlayment, etc., etc. So I think I'm gonna call it a day for this. This is a lot. We got a lot done. A little bit of cleanup, but it turned out pretty good. So, all right.